Yo, 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 it's the MMA Short Show. It's always your boy, Steven Moustaris. And guys, man, I this happens all the time, dude. UFC 294 might have just got even better just with 10 days notice, man. Yesterday, I posted this video about Islam, and I just feel bad for him because he's getting all this hate just because of one performance with Volk. He's been so dominant, and he finally has a pretty closely contested fight in a fight that I thought Volk won. And, people are just starting to count him out, write him off, say he's not a true fighter. He's not as good as he is. Oh, Charles is going to run right through him. And it's mind blowing to me. And then all of a sudden, we're getting news hours after I post that video, and Charles Oliveira is out of the fight due to a cut. And now it's Alexander Volkanovski stepping back in, and we're sitting here like, holy crap, man. And before we get too into this, man, it happens, guys. People fall out of fights, people get hurt. So you Habib fans watching this, because I'm sure Islam fans are watching this, no Habib fan better be talking crap about how Charles pulled out of this fight. Because how many times did Habib pull out? I'm not even talking crap. I'm just stopping you guys because I don't want to see the hate in the comments. And this is what's better. We got the fight that we all want to see. We all did. But this is where this is where I'm going to continue to say I feel even worse now for Islam in a way, just because, I don't think this is necessarily as, one of the matchups, it's a 10-day notice. This isn't like Volk hasn't been training. I'm telling you guys right now, I know he got hand surgery or whatever, but like Volk's been training for this fight. He said it, I think 5 or 6 months ago, he said, I will be there in Abu Dhabi ready to fight either Charles Oliveira or Islam Makhachev. And look what happened. Yeah, it sounds like it's a 10-day notice. So if Islam goes out there and loses to Volk on 10 days notice or 11-day notice, quote unquote, people are going to be like, oh my gosh, how could you? Or if he even beats Volk on 10 days notice, it's going to be, it was 10 days notice. He wasn't ready. That's not how this fight is going to be. I'm telling you guys right now, these boys are ready for each other. They just fought each other earlier this year. 8 months ago? Like they know each other. And that's this is what amazing, man. This is the fight we wanted to see. I was just sitting here talking last week about how that's probably the fight that I want to see at UFC 300 as the co-main or main event, depending on if John Jones fights Francis or whatever wild thing might happen. But that was the fight. But this is the fight I want to see. No offense to Charles Oliveira. I love Charles Oliveira. I was going to root for him against Islam. But, this is the fight, dude. If you guys are talking pound for pound greatest fights that we've ever seen, or pound for pound one versus two, and like legitimately pound for pound 1 versus 2, this is the closest we'll probably ever get for a long time. This stuff doesn't happen. Most of the time we got Mighty Mouse and John Jones at number 1 and number 2, or Kamaru Usman and, Daniel Cormier, or some wild matchup where it's, Volkanovski and Israel Adesanya. Like, you're never going to see those guys fight each other. And the only time that we might have ever had a chance to actually see it, we never got it because nobody at the time, the UFC wasn't, all about the money, wasn't all about the big fight. That was with Anderson Silva and GSP, which we got robbed of. And this might be one of the closer ones to it. I think the only difference is if it was Volk versus Habib. But again, Islam's got better striking and everything. So I don't know. This is why I love this fight. And it's just so wild though to see, man. You got to feel bad for Islam, but at the same time, you got to be happy for both guys because they both get their chance here. Yeah, maybe not the perfect, conditions or whatever, but these boys are champions. These boys are ready to fight. Habib even released a cool video saying, if King Kong can make 155, like, let's get it. That's how ready Islam is. And for Volkanovski to take this fight on 10 days notice, the ball's already, but I'm telling you guys, he's been training for this fight for the last 8 months, ever since that first fight stopped. So, or finished. Yeah, I'm telling y'all, this is going to be that one. And then to make UFC 294 even better, in my opinion, Paulo Costa out here posting about his, I don't know if it was staph or whatever. I don't know what happened, but on his elbow, he had to get some surgery like a week ago or something. And then he's posting on social media. Then he gets pulled out of the fight against Khamzat. And now it seems there's no confirmation yet at this point at 1 o'clock in the afternoon right now, 1:01 exactly. And in Eastern time over here in Ohio, but like as of right now, it seems like it's either Kamaru Usman or Robert Whittaker from what I'm like hearing source wise. Like, man, I'm telling you guys, regardless, those are the fights. But I think DC just posted some cringy ass video talking about you guys aren't even ready for what they've had ready. Like, the UFC is not stupid. Ever since COVID, they have backup fighters ready. Which, speaking of I don't think Martins Gamrot deserved the title fight yet, but he was technically the backup fighter for Charles and Islam, and they got Volkanovski in there very fast. And Martins Gamrot, boy, we're not going to see him that night. I'm telling you right now. So that's pretty wild, but I'm just saying, they always do these damn things, and they're ready for these they're ready for these fights to back out. Like I said during COVID and everything, and it's such a big card in Abu Dhabi. There's no way they didn't have backup fighters. And I remember a couple months ago they were talking Kamaru Usman and Khamzat was almost a done deal. But so I'm telling you, I wouldn't be shocked at all if it's Usman or even if we're talking Robert Whittaker, which would be massive because I'm a huge Robert Whittaker fan. For you guys that know, I love Robert Whittaker, and that's my guy. So like. I'm telling you, I would love for him to get that fight back or like get back into the win column after the Dricus du Plessis fight and to be the first one to beat Khamzat. Like I'm telling you guys, like these fights that are going to be on 10 days notice, either if it's Usman, Whittaker, or Volk, these guys aren't going to get gas. So I would say the game plan for Volk or Islam would be to come out and try to tire out Volk, which we've never seen him tire, but on 10 days notice, that would be the goal when you just had a big fight camp and you're fight ready. But I'm telling you right now, Islam knows that Volk's ready for this fight. Volk knows that he's ready for this fight. Whittaker's ready for this fight. Usman ready for this fight. You know what's the crazy thing with all three? They're championship material. They've been champions. They are champions, So it's these guys are always ready. Champs stay ready. So shouts out to these guys, man. Shouts out because it's crazy. As much as a fan that I am of John Jones, I can't remember the fight card. I think it was like UFC. I don't even remember. I don't even want to guess. Oh, it was either 190 something or 214 or I don't remember. But when John Jones, I forget who backed out. I want to say it was Anthony Johnson. No, I don't know if it was Rumble Johnson or not. But anyway, he was supposed to fight Chael Sonnen, and he completely denied the fight in 2 weeks' notice or whatever. And that was the first card they ever scratched ever. And then because that was a fight, John Jones went out and absolutely destroyed Chael Sonnen when they actually did fight. And that could have been something he could have done on short notice. But it's not always safe for these guys to take fights especially if you're training for somebody way different. So shouts out to these guys for staying on the card. Shouts out to Khamzat. Shouts out to Islam Makhachev. Shouts out to Volk for stepping up. Shouts out to Usman or Whittaker. Regardless, I'm going to be absolutely ecstatic for this fight no matter who they pull in there. So let's go, guys. This is phenomenal. And just the timing, of course, But if you are an Islam fan, I'm telling you guys right now, this is just another notch under his belt for if he does win. For him to say that, he just came off of, being behind Khabib's coattails, being the first guy after like Khabib, the godfather of Dagestani wrestling and fighting, like especially in UFC, for him to come out and maybe not get that love, but then to also, go through the whole Volk fight and to get all this hate, and then for Charles to back out, now you got to fight Volk again, your hardest fight in 10 days. And if he can come out here and finish Volk and be the first one to like legitimately beat Volk outside of Max and himself on really tight fights, like, I'm telling you guys, that would be just absolutely massive for Islam. And the same for Volk, man. Volk's already, I'm telling you guys, I don't like the GOAT conversation at all. Because, one, it's John Jones all day. I don't care. But if you guys want to argue it, whatever, cool. I'll talk about GSP maybe. Maybe. You know what I'm saying? But still, I still think this man has a strong chance, as in Volkanovski, for really, if he can continue to just take out 145, takes out Islam this weekend, becomes a double champ. Guys, this man, just the activity, the way he just beat Yair Rodriguez, coming back off surgery, beating fucking Islam Makhachev, and then going back, maybe beating Aaliyah Tapira here in a couple months. Like, this would be insane. Beating Max Holloway, who is the 145 GOAT if it isn't for Volk. Like, oh my goodness, guys. Like, this fight's crazy. This is what we should have, and this is what I'm talking about. No offense to Charles Oliveira, but this is what I'm talking about, boys. Let's go. So I'm sure I'll be making more videos talking about the fight a little bit more, but just this timing of this stuff is crazy, and I'm excited. This is what we want to see. This is what we want to see. So if the UFC ever sees this video, which they won't, but I'm telling you, if they ever do, that's what I'm talking about. This is what we should have done in the first place. So it's always your boy, Steven Moustaris, MMA Short Show. Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby.